Welcome everyone to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me as always. I sure appreciate each and every one of you. So a big welcome to the February, excuse me. Let's try this again. A big welcome to the February energy update. This one was really interesting and I'm starting with a few chuckles as well because my spirit guides, when bringing in the information for this update, were so jovial, so joyful, and just like funny banter and all of that back and forth. It was so interesting. When I asked them for the points, they brought through 5 main points for this month. And they said 5 was significant because it also represented change. So lots of change energy this month, which is fantastic. But the first one that they brought through, and they kind of like yelled it in a way, was unions. So when I tuned in, I was like, all right, what are the messages here? And, we finished our intro banter back and forth. They said unions. And I'm like, okay, unions. And they said it was the divine unions that we've been talking about really kick off this month officially. And yes, I understand we have a very 3D holiday of Valentine's Day. It's not connected to Valentine's Day. Energetically speaking, maybe Valentine's Day could enhance that energy of people thinking of unions, but really this is like a divine timing of universal alignments as well as humanity's ascension, and it really kicks off this month. The reason why as well is this month represents the number 2, and 2 is the divine pairings of 2 or more. And so unions are really at the forefront this month, whether that be business partnerships, friendships, soulmates, romantic soulmates. This can be communities coming together. I have talked about divine unions so much, and it was really interesting how Spirit was very insistent that this be the very first point we talk about. So in your world, it would be really interesting to notice this month what sorts of unions step forward. Is that a reconnection within you and your soul self? Perhaps it's a deepening of a current relationship you have with somebody. It could be reuniting with different people in your family. Maybe you haven't spoken for a while. It could be absolutely new connections and bonds that bring you into your next phase of life. And that's a big emphasis on this. So that's why, again, it can be business partnerships, it can be community partnerships, can be relationship-based, romantically. You find that divine love of your life this month, or the two of you decide to make it something official. This union, partnership, divine pairing is absolutely glowing. Like even as I'm talking to you all right now, Spirit is showing me in my mind this flashing bright light that says divine partnership. So it's really interesting. So something that we definitely want to take notice of. And it's not about forcing one to happen. If there's one that you're waiting for, maybe you're calling it in some form. If it doesn't happen this month, it's not about forcing it. The beauty is in noticing the divine synchronicities that bring it to you. If you keep your energy in flow in terms of drawing it to you, you will draw that divine union to you and you will be ready to accept it when it arrives. You don't have to force it to happen. Now, one of the beautiful things though is noticing where your heart and soul is drawn to, because that can often lead you to those beautiful synchronistic moments where this connection can happen. So say for example, one of your friends is like, hey, let's go skydiving. And you're like, I've never been skydiving. This isn't a part of my plan. This isn't, what I'm thinking. But you tune into it and you're like, yeah, something's telling me to go. You could very well meet this amazing divine partner who happens to be doing the same thing as you that day. And little did you know that was that synchronistic alignment. So notice the opportunities that come up, regardless of what they are, but feel into the truth for it for you. Something will resonate about the thing. You may be offered some other opportunity and you feel into it and you're like, no, hard pass, don't feel it at all, and trust it, right? So trust your energy in what pulls you to these unions, and also trust your energy when you're presented with one as well, so that you don't fall under any, I'll just call it a spell, or trying to force things to happen or bend things to happen in a way in which you're hoping for. Maybe connecting with people that don't have your best intentions. Again, your energy will not lie to you. Your energy, your undercurrent deep inside will continue to guide you in the direction you need to go. So you could, for example, say it's a romantic pairing and you meet somebody and you meet someone that you're like, yeah, this person is pretty amazing and all of this. And you're like, but something just feels kind of off, but I really love this character piece. They're willing to try an adventure. And so it might not be that person, but it may give you a little taste of that character so that when you are drawn into that actual meeting of the divine partner, you recognize that character piece that really stood out for you. It can help kind of anchor in that union and that connection. So notice what you notice in all of it. Keep your eyes open and your heart open, but also really listen to your undercurrent, because Spirit is really working on making these divine pairings and partnerships happen this year. But the kickoff, the real big kickoff, is this month. Big energy. Okay, the next thing on their list was many of you will start to notice a lightness in your body. A lightness in your body energy. Now, I talked about the crystalline body the other week in Cosmic Consciousness Circle, and how we are connecting more into the energetic light nature, and I mean actual light, like photon light nature of our body. Within that, we're also going to be noticing a lightness in our physical bodies as we step into more 5D energies, as we embrace it, embody it, become it. Our bodies will feel a little bit less dense. And so with that change, you might notice that what you desire to eat changes, the amount that you eat changes, the amount of water that you require, there's lots of things to it. Even kind of the clothes that you like to wear. Maybe you used to like really kind of tighter fitted clothes, and now you're just craving looseness. Different colors maybe even. There's a lightness, a lightening happening in your body, in how you experience it, in how it kind of interacts with you. And so notice how the things around that change, because essentially that is just showing you the frequential change that's happening in your physical body. And that frequential change is so beneficial because it allows your body to hold more of your soul consciousness. That's a great thing. The less dense, energetically speaking, so I'm talking like vibrationally, your body is, the more consciousness, the more openness, the greater the connection you can hold to your guides and the many realms around you. So there's a lightening in the body that is also going to be more noticeable this month. And so pay attention to that and honor it in the way that feels right. Okay, next point is a new and faster flow state now that Pluto has moved into Aquarius. So I am not an astrology expert. I have two beautiful astrologers and I pick their brains often, which I did a podcast recently about the energetics in terms of astrology for 2024. So you can, if you missed that one, definitely go back and check it out. But one of the big things that moved into alignment, which is in our favor this year, is Pluto, the planet Pluto, moving into Aquarius. It moved out of Capricorn into Aquarius. And this is really bringing the ending of a long cycle, like a 15, 16 year cycle for many signs of deep underbelly experiences, dark depths, and kind of like crawling your way to the surface. And now there is a big shift in that energy now that you're at the surface. Because this is happening collectively, this also really represents the earth and humanity as a whole on the earth. And so this is really bringing, although it can bring really revolutionary energies, it's also bringing a fresh start. There's an energy of new, and we know that this year is an energy of new, but then we have Pluto moving into Aquarius, which is a big, big energy of new after massive transformation as well. So this does bring positive outlooks. Now that's really going to depend on where you're looking, because if you look for the negatives, you will find it, and there's plenty of places to find it on our planet. That being said though, if you look for the positives, there are a lot of positives coming up on the planet. New initiatives, new environmental initiatives, new community things, maybe even the newness within you. You're noticing your own fresh start energy, change in your outlook. Again, even the lightness of the body changes can connect into this. The unions can connect into this. There's a whole energy of new, and this energy is moving very fast. When Spirit shows it to me, they often show it to me like a train on the tracks, and this train is going, and you can jump off at certain stations and jump back on, but the train is going to continue moving, and it's that movement that allows us so much flow if we're working in harmony with our energy and our own undercurrent. If we keep checking our own frequency, our own alignment, what resonates, we stay in flow in this energy. Even through little kind of bumps and squabbles, we still stay in flow. That's that whole change. So make the most of this new, faster flow. If you have ideas that you have the energy to put behind to make happen, find the avenue for that, find the pathway, and roll with it. Roll with the fresh start, roll with the positive outlook, and hold your frequency there, because it'll really benefit and help what you're creating blossom. All right, the fourth thing is Spirit talks about a new phase of enlightenment. So this is taking that positive outlook and amplifying it even more. This is a bigger step up. And when they showed me this one, they showed this Buddha-like figure sitting in the middle of like a floating lotus. And they said that it is like the inner Buddha within each and every one of you. That aspect of you that is enlightened. And there's a new phase of enlightenment because there's a transfer in power moving back into your being. And when I asked Spirit to explain that a little bit more, they showed it to me almost like a soul retrieval of sorts. So I often talk about, if I kind of back up here a little bit to give more context, I often talk about our higher self being like a whole pie. And one slice of that pie has come down into this human experience to have the life that is you. And when you cross over, that piece of the pie of your soul, that is you, will connect back into the higher self. That is the very simplified version. If we take it the next level, that piece of pie that comes down actually is sliced into many smaller pieces within that pie to have different experiences in different dimensions, different parallel realities, all of that. And that could be a podcast in itself. However, there are more aspects of your soul. So those many smaller slices of that one slice are starting to merge back together. And when they merge back together, you actually merge into multiple realities. You kind of bring them into one main reality. And when you do that, that gives you more conscious awareness, more access to multiple realms while you're still in this realm. It gives you more access to greater consciousness, greater ideas, your past lives, your future lives, your higher self, you name it. It gives you more access to more things. On a quantum physics level, you would be able to pull from many different dimensions or realms or energies or frequencies in this realm because they are all connecting more deeply, a greater tether between them. Or again, like I said, you could picture them merging into one. And so because of this sort of soul retrieval of your own, bringing them into harmony so they're all kind of on the same frequency, or some of them together at least, transfers more of your soul power back to you in your conscious awareness, which then gives you a greater sense of enlightenment. And this is a beautiful thing. When they brought this through, I was like, wow, I didn't realize that was a collective happening to that scale right now. And they said it absolutely is. There are so many people on our planet that are awakening at such a rapid rate and did so much work during 2020 up into 2024 in clearing out their karmas, clearing out their density. And again, it doesn't mean it's perfect and it's, perfectly cleared. We're always going to have things that show up. It's kind of like when you have a house. You can build your house and it's beautiful and you're going to have to do repairs and upkeep. That's normal. So as we move through our life, we're going to have these human repairs and upkeep within our soul frequency and our bodies and all of that. But when we do that in that consciousness and we're willing to go into what is required for that upkeep, we are clearing out space, keeping it fresh, keeping it high vibe, and then growing and growing from there. And so this transfer of power back to us is giving us more of our soul knowledge, ancient knowledge, connection to all realms, and also really helps amplify our flow state. So all of these things are all working together. It's such a beautiful thing. So I was so excited to hear about that. I thought that was just so cool. And again, Spirit says it's all connected because of your journey. So if you're noticing these things, it's because you have been doing the work in your journey. If you're not noticing these things, you are in the midst of doing the work to clear the space to make these things visible. No part of this message is excluding anybody, wherever you are in different phases. And you may actually even be in one phase of your journey right now where you can't see these things happening. And that phase of your journey is a big one, and it's almost all-encompassing. But once you move through it a little bit, you may notice that there's other parts of your life that are in this flow. And they've just kind of been on the back burner while you used a lot of your energy to focus on the one that needed the most cleaning or clearing or healing. So wherever you are, honor it, because it's not happening by mistake. It's unfolding so that you can do as you wish and make those conscious choices, which then transfer your power back to you like a soul retrieval, bring you more enlightenment within, in conjunction with this beautiful alignment of Pluto into Aquarius. I tell ya. And then the universe is sending these divine unions and partnerships to help you amplify this flow. This is just stunning. So stunning. Now I want to just, before I finish with the fifth point, I want to touch back on the lightness in the body and the connection of unions, more specifically in divine pairing partnerships, like romantic partnerships. I want to just take one quick little tangent here. In your pairings, if you are currently in a relationship with somebody, like an intimate relationship with somebody, and they are doing their work as well, and the two of you connect, however that is you do, even if it's just spending quality time together, however it is you connect, when the two of you connect and combine, you're going to absolutely amplify your energies together of your flow state and of your enlightenment. That is something that is Spirit is showing me. I'm not a video game player, but when I was younger, I did play Super Mario. And for those of you that remember this, do you know when Mario would run through a star and his energy would kind of like flicker, almost like a kaleidoscope of colors moving through him while the music picked up? That's what they're showing me, that when you are in union as well with the two pairings, having stepped into that enlightenment, that soul retrieval, that conscious healing, conscious awareness, you create that kind of star energy, something extra magical in creating the things you wish to create on this planet. And there is a beautiful lightening in the body that happens as well, like on top of. And so then if we connect that into even more intimate aspects of the relationship, like conscious connection between the two of you physically, when you are in that heightened state and you link together, however you do, in those passionate states, you are taking that energy that your sacral chakra and your whole body is creating, and you're amplifying it even more. So you may find that even speeds up your rate of ascension this year as well. Not just ascension, enlightenment, growth, awareness, lightness in body. You may really feel your body changing in how it carries itself, all of that. The pairings of partnerships in that aspect are really significant this year. So something to be said for that. All right, now the last point they wanted to mention is continued earth movement. And I saved this one for last because it was a little bit separate from the other ones, but they wanted to touch on Mother Earth and that there is a continued movement of Earth. And I saw that through like earthquakes, volcanoes. This time they also incorporated storm energy as well. There's a lot of shifting and moving of the earth in all of her forms now, not just earth-based, but also kind of in the air. And I get that this is a lot of recalibrating from Mother Earth too, to expel energies, to release bonds and frequencies within her own frequency as well. And then the shifts that has to change within the air around it, which is why storms are coming in. And one of the best things that we can do, again, I want to very clearly express that when I talk about earth movements, earthquakes, and volcanoes, there is a huge humanitarian impact on that. And I don't bypass that or say it lightly. There's a massive humanitarian impact. The level in which I'm speaking of is the more spiritual level of the why, or the energetics behind it, which does not take away from the very human impact, the lives lost, the homes lost, and the trauma that comes from that. So I just really want to emphasize that. With this earth movement though, when it comes to the storm energy, Spirit wanted to really emphasize, if you are experiencing the storm energy, allow that storm energy to move through your body and shift, clear. They're showing me just like wind blowing through your own neural energy, your own electrical system, your whole nervous system. When lightning strikes and thunder rolls and there are kind of like hurricane type winds, those big heavy hitter storms, allow that energy to move through you. Now, I am very clearly not saying go stand outside in a lightning storm. I'm saying take the energetics of that storm, the feeling you get when you are safely in your home out of the way of the storm, the feeling that it brings up though, which some people find really uncomfortable, nervous, all of that. Allow that to move through you. And if you sit quiet and you close your eyes, or maybe you want to watch the storm, but you allow that thunder to like roll through your body. And when the lightning strikes, you allow that kind of almost like an aftershock of that lightning strike that you see to move through your whole nervous system and like clear it out. There's an energy of cleansing that is coming with the storm type weather in that respect. So I hope that makes sense how I'm explaining it. I'm really trying to hold the two parts separate, from the humanitarian impact to the energetic impact. But there are things that we can do in embracing the storm energy when it is safe for us to do so and all of that. But it can really help clear out blocks in our own nervous system when we kind of let it like kind of burst through our energy. So I will leave that with all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me for the February energy update. I hope it helps bring some insights as to what may unfold for you this month. And I'm excited to see how this all shows itself. So have a beautiful rest of your week, everyone. Have a beautiful February. And I'll be back next week.